welcome back to my channel. My name is Melissa and today we are going to be doing something a little bit different than what I have done in the past because I've had a request. But before I tell you all about that, two things. One, if there's a lot of noise in the background, my husband decided to do some building while I was setting up to record. So I might have to stop and start a bit through this, and I apologize now. Now he stopped. And the other thing I wanted to do was thank the first person who has ever given me a super thanks. Now, I earn very little, if next to no money, on this channel and from YouTube. So that's the fact of life. I don't have a zillion and one subscribers, so feel free to share with anyone. But I'd like to thank Kathleen Konosko. Sorry, Kathleen, if I have said that wrong, but thank you so much for your super thanks. It does mean the world to me. If you would like to leave a super thanks, there is a little button down below that you can click on, and I really appreciate it. Plus, since recording this video, I've also had my first Buy Me a Coffee. So thank you, Teresa, very much for that. I really appreciate it. If you enjoy my content and want to support my channel, you can buy me a coffee at the link in the description below. Thank you so much for your support. It means the world to me. Okay, so what is this video all about? Well, I've had a request from Linda R. China. That's her YouTube name. And what she asked was, I would love a video on color combining yarns. Now, I'm not 100% sure, Linda, exactly what you mean, so I will go through what I think you might mean. Okay, so there's various different ways that you can combine yarn, and I'm going to go through my list of what I've come up with that maybe wanted to be covered. So there are various things you can do, and let's run through what it is. Now, why would you want to combine yarns? Now, it can be for a variety of different reasons. So, for example, I've got a whole load of examples to show you of what I do. So, for example, you might have a wicked yarn that looks like this. And you might be looking at it and going, I mean, I can use the whole garment out of this. Now, this garment is in this tutorial here. And I use this and I blend this with, I've lost it, there it is. I blend the yarn with an alpaca or mohair type of yarn. Now, it is, I can't get to it, it's so sticky, very, very, very thin yarn. And there is no way I can use this yarn on its own, but I can use it really easily with another yarn like this. Now, this yarn requires, I think, was a 4.5 or a 5 millimeter hook, a 4 millimeter hook. And look, I mean, I can use a 4 millimeter hook. I don't go below a 4 millimeter hook, but I want a thicker garment. So a lot of the times the reason why I'm blending is because I want that thicker garment. So what I'm do is I blend this with this, work the two together, and my goodness, you get such a super soft, squishy, yummy garment. Now, I also wanted to, I want to make, I don't know whether you're aware, but I make my garments to sell through my business, Lucky Platypus. We do markets and all sorts of things. I have my garments in some shops, and therefore I need a quick and easy thing to make for this. I mean, I need to work these up really fast. And I want to make multiples of these things. So I buy 3 of these and I can make 2 garments out of this. But I don't just use this. I blend it with this, and I'm using the edge, as you'll see if you go to the tutorial, I use the edge in a different color. Now for this one, what I'm going to do, I haven't made it up yet, and it is going to be the next one I make up. The body is this, the edges, the trimming around the edge is this, and then I blend everything with this. So you can see what I've done here. I have picked out certain colors in this. So this is the color I've picked out. And I am blending all these to make that color the dominant color on all the highlighted bits, and then the rest just flows. And I think it works out beautifully, and I'm really happy with it, and they sell really well. So I know that I must be doing something right by doing that. Now, you don't have to do that. You can just buy something that is already got colors that you like. You don't have to do the colors that I choose. Could have made the pinky purple the most dominant, or the cream the dominant. The thing about color blending is you can do whatever rocks your boat, whatever you like. Just play. There is no hard and fast rule to color blending. So you don't have to do anything at all and let the ball do it for you. Or you can play around with different yarns and put them together. So I could have just done that, but I wanted a thicker garment, so that way I blend that together. Now be aware there is an extra cost in all that, because of course you're using more than just that cost. So think about that when you're doing it, if that's something that you're interested in. Now the other thing that you can do is just simply make a garment blending those two together. Now why on earth would I do that? Well, I hate this yarn. It's awful. I bought it, and it's from Spotlight. It's was on sale when I got it. Everything that I buy on sale. I never buy full price. And I thought, wicked, you know, $3 a ball. This is going to be one of the best yarns. It's a plain. I want a lot of plain acrylics that I can blend. And that's the other thing. Pick any plain acrylic. If you're buying online, it's a bit hard. So I buy a lot online. We don't have a lot of the stores around where I live now. So I can't just go and pop down to the local Spotlight, and there is no Lincraft that we have here. And that's pretty much all we're limited to around this area. So I buy online. So I'm taking a risk. I mean, I have been there to the stores themselves, but when they get new products, I just go, oh, well, I'll take a risk. Well, I took a risk with this. It's horrible. It's really, really rough. There is no softness, and you definitely know that this is an acrylic yarn. So this is Four Seasons Marble, and I got a lot of it. But you can work with this by blending it with something like this. This one's an Alpaca Blaze from Hobbii. And that makes this all of a sudden super soft and squidgy and yummy. And that's the beauty of getting something like this. So I often will look out for, it doesn't have to be real mohair or real alpaca. It can be like a faux fur kind of thing. Just look for something that is a thin yarn like this, like how super thin. Oh, here we go again. It's all stuck together. So you can see, oh, it's not going to focus. You can see that that is super thin. You don't want to put two thick yarns together unless you do, because the thicker the yarns, the bigger the hook, and it might not have that cozy, snuggly feeling that you want. So that's how I make a yucky yarn be nice and squidgy and yummy, by putting a squidgy, yummy, fluffy yarn with it, and it makes the world of difference. So if you've seen my last tutorial, which was my beanie one, that's what I did. I blended a fluffy mohair yarn with an ugly acrylic yarn. Now the other thing you can do when it comes to blending, let me check my list of things. So the reason why you would blend, the yarn is too thin, So that's a big thing I've got. The yarn can be way too thin. It's a 3mm hook, or in the case of this fluffy stuff, I don't even, it says it's a 5. It's a load of baloney. This is like a 1 or 2. There's no way, unless you, yeah, there's no way. So I've got lots of thin yarn. I buy it hoping that I can use a 4mm hook, and then I find that this is just too difficult. So I blend it, and I've been doing a lot of that lately and using up yarn. So for example, this exquisitely beautiful yarn is from Hobbii, super soft and squidgy. And let me give me one so I can read that. This is called Colorina. Oh, look at the colors in that. And I was making shawls with this, and look, a 4mm hook, it does work fine, but they've been sitting on my shelf forever and a day, and I'm like, I'm never ever going to do anything. And plus, my customer's style is very different to what it was where I used to live. Where I used to live was a lot warmer. I did shawls, lots and lots and lots of shawls. You can see a lot of those tutorials towards the beginning of my channel. Here, no, they want jumpers and they want cardigans. So I've had to change that up, and they want thicker things. So that means my nice little thin stuff that I was buying to make the shawls that I was doing is not working here. So I need to think outside the square. I mean, I can make scarves with it. I am doing scarf in a greeny blue version of this, but I'm working on a new project, which I'm hopefully going to get it out to you guys soon. And I think this blended with this black, can you see those two together working up? I can't wait. It is going to look, it's sitting down here ready for me to go. So when I was preparing for this video, I was like, oh, I could do those together. So I've been buying up a lot of plain acrylic yarn. This was Black Friday Hobbii yarn for this year. Check out my tutorial to see what I got in the Black Friday Hobbii sales. And this is a nice acrylic. So this is going to make a beautiful, I'll give you a hint, it is going to be a sweater. Now I'm not going to do the tutorial with these two because it's too dark and you wouldn't be able to see what I was doing. I will pick another 2 colors, but it is going to be a color blend together. So as you can see, I've got my red and blues with a completely different color, which is black. So you don't have to pick out the same colors within your ball of yarn. You can pick something that is completely different, and all you need to do is just put it together like this and see if it's something that you like. Do you like those 2 colors together? I love it. I think I can't wait. I can't wait to blend it. So just put them together and trial and see. Even do a little swatch. You're going to have to do one anyway to know what hook you're going to be using. So just do a little swatch and see if you like how it's blending up. If you don't, take it apart, do something else. So that's what I do. I trial and error. There is no hard and fast rule. No rule at all for this. So play around. But can you? Oh, I can't wait. I think I'm going to have to stop all my other projects and do that. Very pretty. So yeah, so the yarn can be too thin, and you need to, it's sitting up there for years and years and years, and you're like, I've got to use this up. So blend it that way, and therefore you've got a thicker yarn. Generally what I do is I go a 4 and a 3mm hook, 2 different yarns, so 3mm and below with a 4mm acrylic, and then I use generally a 7mm hook. This then also has the added bonus of making it a quicker project as well because your hook's bigger. So that's got a plus on it. So yeah, your yarn can be too thin, or as I said, don't like the yarn. So as I was saying about this one, I don't like that yarn. I don't like it, but as soon as I blend it with this, beautiful. It's so nice. Very, very nice. And then you want thicker yarn to make a garment, which goes back into the project I'm going to do with that black and the red. I want a thicker garment. It's going to be a nice thick jumper that I'll be doing the tutorial on, and that works perfectly. So what yarn can you use? Any yarn, anything at all. I haven't found anything that doesn't really work. All I would say is just check your hook size. So if you're going to do 2 thick yarns together, just make sure you've got the hook that can actually work it up. I have not yet gone above a 7mm hook. I mean, I've got the hooks above that, but the yarns that I've got, I'm just trying to use up that stash that you see behind me there. Hold on. It's this way. There's a whole heap of thin yarn there, and I've had it for years, and I'm just trying to use it up, and it's working out well. They're turning out to be beautiful. Well, if I do say so myself, beautiful jumpers. So I think it works out beautifully. Do's and don'ts. Well, basically, I do 2 rules. Do a plain with a plain. And you can do multiples. So if you want to have a stripy effect, here we go. We have got 4 different browns. You could do a stripy effect with 4 different browns. You don't have to buy a self-striping wool. I mean, these were $3 a ball when I bought them in a sale. And you could just stripe them in whatever order. Basically what I do is I lie it on the ground, I put them in the order that I think looks the prettiest, and go from there. There is no reason why it has to be in that order or whatever. You can go from the lightest to the darkest. You can change up the colors and be completely contrasting colors. It is up to you how you would do it. You could even mix it up, so you could blend 2 together and have that blending effect with 2 yarns on your hook. Up to you how you would like to do it. Once again, this is the ugly yarn that I don't like, so I would be blending any of those yarns with, which is what I'm going to do with that. So that would look beautiful with that one, or that one, or that one. That one would have a different feel because there's slightly more contrasting, but still, it will still have a lovely effect. Or that one. So you can see I can use the one fluffy with any of these brownie colours. I don't even have to have that with a brown. That could be done with anything. Oh, a pink and brown, pretty as. A cream, a white. So just get your yarn and put it with different yarns. If you're in a yarn, like, you might not have a stash like I've got. I mean, I've got this, what's behind me down there, and out the door I've got, oh, and in the tubs there, I've got a lot of it. It is my business, so of course I do. But if you're in the yarn store, just literally pick up the yarn and put it around on other yarns and see what looks good together. If you are shopping online, do a screenshot of the picture that you like, the yarn that you like, and screenshot a picture of the other yarn that you like, and put them together if you've got that function on your phone, and see if you like those 2 together. So that I find is the easiest way. I've never put pattern and pattern together. I don't think it'll work. I can't imagine. Let me see what I've got here. Hold on 2 secs. I have a lot of pattern yarn. I mean, it is my favorite. I prefer patterns, and I rarely do just a plain thing unless it's spun yarn when I'm doing the fleece or something. So I would never put a pattern and a pattern together. That would look awful. Well, that's my opinion anyway. I would not do it. But, you know, if that's what rocks your boat, then put the patterns together. if you like that kind of thing, go for it. As I said, there's no hard and fast rule. But my rule would be never, never do that. No. It's just, I can't imagine it. But while I've got this yarn, this is another one that is absolutely horrible yarn. I got this from Hobbii. They're based in Turkey. It looks, here it is worked up. I'm dropping everything now. Here it is worked up. All right. Now, you might like the colours. I was going to make a cardigan out this. This is as far as I got. There's an armhole. And there's the end. I've already taken off some of it. I don't, it would go that way. Like that. It's showing it much prettier on the screen here than what it is in real life. You might like that, but this yarn is awful to work up. It is stringy, bitty. Your hook keeps getting into it. I don't like it at all. And it has been sitting in this basket next to me for a year now. It is horrible. I've never let a project sit for that long. Never. So obviously I really hate this yarn. So what am I going to do with it? Well, what I did was I've been doing a lot of blending. So why not blend? So I got this creamy yarn and that. And I picked out, there's a little, I don't know whether you can see in this colour, there's a little beigey part there. So I picked out that beige, I hope you can see that, and blended those two together. Now, it's a pain in the butt. I have to undo what I did, but I'm going to do the short cardigan I've got on my tutorial, and that's how it's come out so far. And the difference between them is that. Now, you might prefer this to this, and that's fine. And I actually don't mind the colouring as such. But I'm not minding this either. The thing is, I've got to use this yarn up somehow. I hate the colours of the making of this. The yarn is horrible to work up, and I've got lots of colours in this. I've got, lots, blues and all sorts of, and I don't want to, I want to use it. So how am I going to use it? And that's what I did. Blended it, and there we are so far. And if I finish this before I put this video together, I will put a photo up of it and show you what it ended up looking like. But this is so much easier to work up than the original that I was going to do. So sometimes you start out with something, the yarn is revolting, you're like, oh, what am I going to do with it? I'm never going to work it up because it's just so difficult. So blend it, and it's amazing how quick it is to work up now, and so much easier to do. Now, for all those Australians, if you are interested, this yarn is fantastic. I love this yarn. It is a cheap $2 acrylic from Spotlight. $2, nice range of colours, and so super soft and squidgy. Way better than this horrible, tough acrylic yarn from the same company, Spotlight, and that cost way more than that. So my recommendation, if you can, get this one. Is called, I don't know, Semco. And I think I pretty much covered everything. The other thing is you might get a yarn that you think, oh wow, that is gorgeous, absolutely love it. It looks like I could work that up beautifully. That'll turn out really lovely and fluffy. And then you go to work it up and you're like, yeah, I can't even see a stitch. I can't see the stitches at all. Which, this is so super fluffy. I found it really, really hard. So this one, like here, I just pulled it apart and had a look at all the different colors that are in there. So you could blend it with a purple. You could blend it with a green. So I've already made this into a beanie, and I used a green, a bluey green that was so close to this color here. And I was using up yarn. So I had leftover yarn, like a ball, and I'm like, what on earth am I going to do with this? I don't know. It's boring. I don't want to do something on its own. So when that came in and I went, I can't work this on its own, and it was a perfect match with it. So I made that beanie. Now I've also will blend it because I've got enough to make a second beanie, but I don't like doing the same thing twice. I like my customers to have something unique. So I will blend it with a slightly different green. It's not exactly the same, see? But I reckon that will still look pretty and give this, which is still, it's a nice, I like this one. This acrylic is Amigo. Yeah, it is Amigo. It's from Hobbii. It's super soft, squidgy. I do like it, but I've got little I can do with this, what I've got left. I've got enough that I can make that beanie. So I'm going to blend these two together and do the beanie. So it is a fantastic way of using up bits that you go, I don't know what I'm ever going to do with this. So blend it, and you've got a bit more yarn. You can make a thicker beanie, for example, and then yeah, you've used it up and works really well. I think that is all I have to say on the subject. So hopefully, Linda, I have answered your questions. If any of you out there have any more questions you would like me to answer, I am not an expert by any chance on crocheting and stuff. I just share my tutorials because I can't read or write patterns, and therefore I video it so I can remember what I did, and I thought, why not share it with all of you out there? So yeah, I'm no expert, but I do what I do because I like what I do. And if you have any questions and want to know what else I like to do with the question that you have, please feel free to drop me a comment down below. Please like, subscribe, and do all that gorgeous good stuff out there. And thank you for watching. Have a great day, everyone, and I will see you on the next tutorial. Bye, everyone.